Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. My hero, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, once said on his return, after 7 long years, and then did his spiel. Well, I think it's after 7 long weeks or
Yeah.
something like that. The review is back.
Finally!
Exactly. It is back. The review will be back weekly again with myself and my partner in crime, Ben the Kauffman. Ben, how are you, brother?
Alive and well. We are here. We're here to talk about nonsense. We're here to talk about all the things that make us happy and all the things that make us sad. It's going to run us through the ringer, but it's great that we're together and shouting this spiel, as we sort of call it.
That should be the new Odera Espacase, shouldn't
Shouting
it?
this spiel.
That should be it. So let's get into this. Let's just play our funky tune, which me and Ben both love, and then we'll get into it. Fair play, Ireland, on that. Fair play.
Fair play.
So Ben and I have come to the decision that our beloved paper, the Tottenham Chronicle, will be back, but we'll be back at the start of the season, because if we're just to base this on transfers and whatever, Ben is going to need to live in a library.
There's going to be a lot of spiel to go through, and we don't want to bore you guys here at Tottenham on Tour.
Exactly.
Videos to be an hour long, not about 15.
Exactly. So we're going to start with a couple of non-Tottenham Hotspur related things and some housekeeping, and then get through to the Tottenham Hotspur thing. So first of all, this is very important to me. Get well soon, Rachael. Now, people will know Rachael. She's been very active on Twitter. She started being regular on Harry Scarf's channel. But most importantly, she's like a little sister to me and is a big part of my Leave It or our Leave It Out group. A few weeks ago, unfortunately, she had a very serious heart attack at the age of 35. It was very worrying times. She was in a hospital. I went to visit her, and the hospital looked after her incredibly well. She had to have a double bypass, I believe, during the week.
Yeah.
But thankfully, on Friday, I believe, she was allowed home. So she's back home. So Rachael, you best be taking it easy as you watching this, because I've told her to watch tomorrow when this comes out, or later on this evening. Everyone, if you could please just in the comments just say "get well, Rach," or whatever, because you've met Rachael many a time now, haven't you, Ben?
Many a time. It's yeah. You're never too young to have something really go wrong with you. Unfortunately, it's the way of the world.
Yeah.
An organisation that we both support, like to the ends of the world, has kept someone we in this community absolutely appreciate massively.
Yeah.
And it's done it again. It's done it again. So we need to support everyone involved, but most importantly, a speedy recovery to Rachael. And we look forward to seeing her back on the picket line at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I have to say, in the
WhatsApp, calm it down, though, Rachael. No screaming. What you need to do is calm it down. Calm it down, I can't.
I could see her laughing when she says that. I mean, the funniest thing is in our Enoch Out group, even when she's in hospital, she's posting out stuff going, "What's this all about? What the hell?" And everyone in the group was like, "Rachael, what that article is about is put the phone down and stop stressing about Spurs." So yeah, like you said, I mean, at 35 to have a heart attack, people, please just honestly keep an eye on your health. If you're not feeling well, you're not feeling right, don't just shrug it off.
This weather here in the UK, it's unbelievable. Like, I don't know how you've been, Brian, with the temperatures. I've not been able to eat properly in 4 days because of how hot it is. Like,
yeah, I mean,
after yourself, you might feel you're just a tiny bit hot, but you could have something really wrong with you. So again, usual things: drink plenty of water, look after yourself, and don't do anything too stupid.
Yeah, I'll say that as well. And with Rachael, and she won't mind me saying this, she was feeling for the last couple of days before that she was feeling like she had really bad indigestion.
Yeah.
And it conspired that it was actually mini heart attacks she was having. And then obviously the one that happened on the Saturday, which was a major one, was like, right, I need to go in. So like I said, any ailments, anything that you think, oh, it may be this, it may be that. I'm not trying to say be a hypochondriac and check everything like, oh, my finger hurts.
From our culture telling you not to be a hypochondriac is saying a lot.
That is true. But listen, like we said, most importantly, Rach, we love you. I love you dearly. You're like a little sister to me. Stuart, her partner, husband, and her kids have been incredible as well. They've been through so much. So a big up to Stuart, who's been looking after the kids they have. And they have a lot of kids. I think it's 6, 7. So Stuart has been having to look after them. So big up to Stuart, big up to all the kids. But most importantly, love you, Rachael, and get well soon. Talking of health, just going to very quickly touch on the mental health special we did this week or last week, whatever way you want to look at it when this comes out. Ben, myself, Kuva, and Reds did a show that I needed to do, and I had my 3 brothers supporting me regarding issue that we cover and think very much of on this channel. And I just wanted to say, and Ben will have a say afterwards as well, the responses we got in the chat when we premiered it, I've never seen such a respectful chat, and everyone sharing, and the support has been incredible. The direct messages and WhatsApp I got. It was a show that I'd been meaning to put out for a little while, but because of all the circumstances around it and other things, I was going through a rough time myself. So I was like, right, now I need to take the power back.
Yeah.
And we did it. And I just want to thank everyone for the positive response. We will be doing another live mental health special sometime in the near future. It was just a great thing to do, wasn't it, Ben?
It's proof that there are good people in this community, and there are a lot of good people. I mean, we have gone through something that's shakes the bones of everything we hold dear in this fan base. But when things break, they heal stronger, and that's what that mental health show showed. We've got a great community of people, whether it's the people in the chat, whether it's our co-creators that mean the world to us. We have a great bunch of people here, and a couple of bad apples, a couple of evil trolls are not gonna move us away from what Tottenham on Tour, from what We Are Tottenham TV does, what the Free Spurs Boys does, what Shelfside Spurs does, and all the other shows you know and love. The Perchy TV is another one of them. Trolls and bad people will not push us away from what we try and do here, which is to help people, to show that mental health matters, and to show there is light at the end of the tunnel. And we are a family. We're a dysfunctional family. We have many disagreements, but we are a family. And if we stick together, we can accomplish anything. And that's what that mental health shows. So everyone that was involved with it, a massive to you.
Exactly. Now that's enough of the non-Tottenham talk.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I keep looking out because I've got the windows open, and right now I know we predicted thunderstorms. It's getting very dark here all of a sudden, and I can feel it turning. I think a thunderstorm is soon going to be hitting Cockfosters and other parts of England, obviously. But if you're in North London, get ready because it looks like it's going to fall out of the sky. But
is it Tottenham signing someone?
That's probably what it is. That's probably what it is, mate. So yeah, let's have a chat, Ben. Goalkeeper in, who's next? Let's talk about the goalkeeper. Break it down for me from when the Raya deal looked like it was collapsing to where we are now. What's your timeline on this?
Well, we spoke about this on many shows. We all wanted David Raya in because he's got all the attributes we saw as a fan base to be the next Tottenham Hotspur goalkeeper. But we've now got Guillermo Vicario in, who looks like a very young, prosperous goalkeeper. Well, he's not young. He's 26, 27. But for a goalkeeper, that is young, come to think of it. Goalkeepers play till 40. But he is a goalkeeper that's been playing for Empoli for a few years. He got a loan he came back from Cagliari, and he's done well. But of course, this is not a sexy signing that we wanted, because we necessarily don't watch Empoli play. If we do watch Italy Italian League Serie A. We're watching Milan. We're watching Juventus. We're watching Inter. We're watching Fiorentina. We're watching the Sampdoria even. I know we watch him because Harry Winks is playing and we want some comedy once in a while. This is not a goalkeeper we would have said that's the goalkeeper we want. And of course, you've got the mini things. Is this a Paratici signing that we have bought just to spite him? Is this a Levy signing? Is it a Postecoglou signing? But all of us have said, now that this keeper is going in, we're going to back him because he's wearing a blue and white shirt, a blue and white kit. And if you wear that stripe, we're going to support you. And that's what we do. I'm looking forward to seeing him play. He's got some interesting aspects and he's got some very uninteresting aspects. So let's see how he plays in a Tottenham shirt.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go through it with you. I mean, obviously, I was on We Are Tottenham TV when the news broke, and I went absolutely stark raving mad. This is before we were linked with the goalkeeper, and I've been liking it too. You know, when you go onto like those Go Compare websites, or you're looking at, and it shows you what this one does and this one doesn't, and it's got the ticks next to and the crosses or blank. I looked at David Raya, and for me, I couldn't see where to put a red cross. I just couldn't. I was like, the homegrown, the living in England, the understanding English, the proven in the Premier League, the age, his stats, everything looked, so the value was open for debate, and a lot of people were debating on this, and I kept saying, which people kind of misunderstood, when I said, do I reckon he's worth 40 million? I don't know. But do I reckon he's worth 40 million to Tottenham Hotspur?
No, isn't it, Aki? It's subjective.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. Do I think he's worth 40 million to Tottenham, seeing that we desperately need a goalkeeper? We've screwed up and we need the homegrown. I was like, yes. Then what got to me is 24 hours later, it took us weeks to try and it was all in the talk. And then within 24 hours, a cheaper deal comes up and we're all over it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know exactly what this looks like. And I was fuming. I was absolutely fuming, going mad. Me and Ryan were walking my sister's dog, Rosie. Me and Ryan, for the first time ever, almost came to blows. Me and Ryan were talking, like, don't get me wrong, weren't coming to blows, but the debate got heated. It was getting, and then we kind of found that I think it was a miscommunication, which is very rare with me and Ryan. But then, do you know what? I was still annoyed. Because it was like, does this guy come in and set the Premier League alight? Does this guy settle in London? Does this guy, it was all, does he, not willy, or he will. But then I was going through Twitter and I saw a tweet that said, just typical of Tottenham fans. Say that they want us to adopt like a Brighton method of data and picking up players like that. But then when we go and do it, having a go at not knowing the guy and being cheap. And I was like, do you know what? I fell into that bracket. And I was like, do you know what? And as I've said, I'll always put my hands up when I feel I'm wrong. And I have to say, I think I jumped the gun. Listen, do I know that he's going to come in and be better than Raya? No, I don't.
No one knows.
No one knows. We don't know a damn thing. But that tweet that I heard saying that, like, you want us to go down this road, but then when we go down this road, you have a go at not picking a player that we know. And it really rung true. Now, there's so many people that I've heard so many things. I've heard he's great with his feet. I've heard he's shit with his feet. Yeah. I've heard his handling is terrible. I've heard his handling is fantastic. Yeah. I've heard he's a great shot stopper. I've heard it. So it's all up in the it's all up in the air. But what we got to look at is, and you mentioned, I think this deal and a couple of other deals that we've been linked with have got Paratici written all over it.
Yeah.
All over it. And you know what? I don't know if they're still in communication or they had their targets that they wanted for this summer written down and they've still held on to that as a, or maybe they're even halfway down the line with the transfer negotiations during January and they're ready to go. But like you said, as soon as a player comes in and is holding up that shirt, he will instantly get our support. Yeah. It's definite we need a new goalkeeper and a new goalkeeper's coming in. So now there's talk about the central defenders.
Yeah.
There's also talk of James Maddison. What are you feeling about these deals that are being rumoured right now, Ben?
I really want us to sign Tapsoba from Leverkusen. watching clips and watching Bundesliga, not as much as I should do, really. Don't get the time to watch all this football. He looks like the perfect foil for Romero. Because what is Romero? He's aggressive, he's rash, he's mental, but he's brilliant with his feet and he's brilliant technically. Tapsoba is also brilliantly technical, but what he's got a calmness. He's got a really calm, he's got all the time in the world. I think that could be a really good balance. That could be a really great balance. And at 25 million, it's not expensive. That is a player we should have over the line. He's been playing in the Bundesliga for Xabi Alonso. At the left of a back four, I see this player is going to be a good player for us. I think if he comes in, I also like the look of the kid at Fulham, who's a bit of a unit from what I see. He's a bit of a unit, in the words of Perchy as well. But I think Tapsoba looks like a good foil for Romero. We never know. But we never know of any signing where there have been proven Premier League players that have been bought and have flopped. Fernando Torres is one. Fernando Torres was great at Liverpool. Went to Chelsea and it was awful. Admittedly, he scored a load of important goals, but he still wasn't great. Until they wear that shirt and they see how they play in the facet of a Tottenham team, we don't know how they're going to play. But I'm not going to say I'm excited about Tapsoba, but that looks like a player that we should get over the line. And I'd love to have Maddison. I mean, a lot of people have already been saying Maddison is not realistic, or maybe we should get someone like an Eze or a Elise instead, but that's not realistic because they're going to cost 80 million and not 50, 60 million. I like Maddison. Maddison does for me what I want to see from a number 8/number 10 at Tottenham, and I think he'd be brilliant.
So do you know what? I'm with Tapsoba, I completely agree with you. Completely, totally, utterly agree with you. And the way you liked it, I always use this like this. One of the best defensive partnerships I think the Premier League has ever seen, ever, is Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Vidic.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt, they were. And if you look at it, they had the physical. I'd put Romero as the Vidic.
Not quite there yet, but that's sort of...
No, but I mean the aggression, not in class. I mean the traits, the attribute. No, I'm not saying in stature. He's got a long way to go to be in the Nemanja Vidic league. Potentially could get there, but that's the player. If I had to liken him in that, Tapsoba could be the Rio. Exactly, Tapsoba could become the Rio. Get this right. I'm not saying they are going to be the next. I'm saying as a partnership, the yin, the yang, right. The power, and the
artist and the monster.
Exactly. Bang on the money. And do you know what? There's also that other guy from the German league that I didn't know a thing about, so I'm not really going to comment on him. But Madders. So you mentioned Eze. I'm a huge fan of Eze. We shall see what happens there. But if we get Maddison in, or Eze, or some of that ilk, it's a brilliant acquisition. But what I will say is a very good friend of ours and a good friend of the channel, and he's a diehard Leicester fan, is Wayne Holland.
Yeah.
And Wayne, love you, Wayne, top man, one of the nicest men you ever meet in this world, sent me a message the other day saying, wow, you guys seriously are in for Maddison. And then he gave me a pros and cons list.
Yeah.
So for the pros, he said, can literally take teams apart.
Yeah.
Passing is excellent. Best position is number 10.
Yeah.
Excellent delivery. Brilliant finding space. Great creative play. The cons. Only turns up to 1 in 3 games.
Yeah.
This is obviously in a Leicester shirt. Injured a lot, or he says injured a bit, but I'm going to say a lot because it does look like when he gets an injury, he is out for a while with it. Says, whatever you do, don't play him out wide.
Yeah.
Temperamental. Expect him to lose the ball a lot.
Yep.
Will never track back.
Yep.
So, do you know what? The pros we all know. The cons are interesting. And obviously, we would hope Ange would be able to coach him out of it, or maybe you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But the one thing we do know, what I will say, is if we get Tapsoba, another central defender, and a Maddison, I was just saying another channel, you look at it, that's the goalkeeper addressed.
Yep.
The central defence addressed. and the midfield and the creativity addressed. To me, anything else is a bonus. That would actually be, I would say, do you know what? For the first time in ages, well done. Well done.
That's a good start.
Exactly. You've addressed all the needs or the vital areas that needed. But this is, I only say that right now with what we've got right now. This is before I encounter or bring in the outgoings.
Of
course. If you
course.
get a load of outgoings, you then need to get replacements for those outgoings. So for me, I would say if we got Tatsoba, the goalkeeper we've got here we go. We know this is done and dusted. We get another good defender in, and it has to be a good defender. Has to be a good defender, not a. We've got Dorrington from the youth. Yeah, we're definitely not him. Definitely not Clement Longap. I said if we sign Clement Longap, I will go instantly live and go on the biggest rant you've ever seen.
I will join you. And I will
literally just go right. I'll phone you, Ben, and say we're going. Even if it was at 2 o'clock and your stream was going, I'm like, we're going live on Tottenham on tour. This is not going to be your stress-free, chilled one. This will be the exact opposite. But you would have to say, I would say, if we sign 4 players, if someone said to me, you're going to sign 4 players this summer, it'll be a goalkeeper, 2 centre defenders, and a creative midfielder, and it'll be James Maddison.
That's a good base. And then we start to look at some of the deals, one of which is Alex Scott.
Without a doubt.
Perfect buy is to buy James Maddison as your number 1 and Alex Scott is his understudy. Perfect. Yep. Perfect. You're buying a quality attacking midfielder and you're buying an understudy you can play many games like FA Cup games, League Cup games. I'd play him, but he's quality.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? I mean, Alex Scott, let's face it, he's a must. I was talking about this again on the show. I was just on Time Added On Alan's channel. For me, Alex Scott is an absolute must.
Yeah.
This kid is going to be a star. He's going to be a star. And it doesn't matter who comes in for him. The 2 things that we've got going for him massively is, first of all, he is a Tottenham fan.
Yep.
And second of all, his best mate is Alfie Devine.
It's the perfect. It's when Maddison eventually is phased out, and your 2 number 10s are Alfie Devine and Alex Scott, 2 best mates.
Yeah, no, but do you know what? I mean, people will know from this channel and any channel I go on. Alfie Devine is like my number 1 man. So this is also a step moving forward for you with youth. Again, these are the kind of players we need to be looking at. We've got to stop thinking like managers. 80, 90 million pound players aren't going to come here.
No. And
if they do come here, they're going to come here on huge wages. And just because they are 80, 90, just like the managers we've had in the past, Mourinho and Conte, thinking, right, they win everything, that means they're going to do it here. We've got to be a little bit more realistic. Don't get me wrong, I want to see superstars at this club.
We're never going to get superstars, though, so we have to be tactful. I mean, a lot of people have been saying, why is Laporte not coming? Why is Laporte not coming? I've spoken about this a lot with Mr. Sava. It was never going to happen.
Yep.
Without Champions League football and without him earning a principal sum of maybe 400 grand a week, he was never looking at Tottenham. This is a man at the top of his game. Top of his game. Yeah, he's not fully getting in the City team, but it's the City team. They've got quality players in that team.
Yeah.
He never come into Tottenham. He can get in any side in Europe, bar Manchester City, who are the cream of the crop. If you looked at every central defensive unit, he would get in almost every one of them. He was never coming to Tottenham. Never, 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 never. It was never going to happen. So we have to look at some good deals, but they've got to be quality deals. And that's what we've been asking, not to spend loads of, because contrary to popular belief, Tottenham do spend quite a lot of money badly. It's all down to the people at the top and the infrastructure around. We don't want us to spend loads of money. We want to buy good players that make sense. And Alex Scott is a player that won't cost a lot of money, but makes total sense.
Yeah, you are absolutely bang on the money. You know what? This brings us on to the last subject, which is our new approach to transfers, Ben. And you look at it, I've been discussing, people really do sometimes not understand what I'm saying. And people are like, oh, Brian wants all these superstars. He wants this, he wants that. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm like, if we were to go and sign 3 players right now from the Middle East, not Middle East, sorry, Far East,
Yeah.
the Far East, and Australia and everything, it's a clear indication that we're listening to Ange.
Yeah.
It's an untapped market, and I keep using this referral. When Arsene Wenger went to Arsenal, he knew the French market. And don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing France to South Korea or anything like that. What I'm getting at is, had anyone heard of Patrick Vieira?
Nope.
From AC Milan? No. Had anyone heard of Emmanuel Petit? Had anyone heard of Nicolas Anelka? Listen, Thierry Henry was known, but as a left winger,
No,
and a
as
left
a
winger,
left winger, it wasn't great.
was known that a left winger that was not doing well at Arsenal, Juventus. But Arsene Wenger knew what he was doing and had him at Monaco, and then was like, I want this guy. I think it was 11 or 14 million they paid for him. And I think you can say,
a footballer in the Premier League.
Yeah, that's so. Do you know what? It's so weird. We were having a debate on on We Are Tottenham TV. We were doing unpopular opinions, and one of them was Kane is very, very underrated, or not underrated. Kane will go down as a for one of the most decorated strikers in Premier League history. I was like, no, it will go down for his accolades. And I said, listen, when you're talking strike, for me, the best player to play in the Premier League ever is Thierry Henry. For me, and I will say this: I'm a lover of football.
Goals,
but you know what? Ben, some of the comments on there go, "Oh my God, is Brian even a Tottenham fan? How dare he say Henry was the?" I can say these things. I just because I hate Arsenal, and
you don't know
the club. I love football, and there is no doubt for me, Thierry Henry was devastating in his time. But what? Let's get back to.
I've had the same conversation with someone. I said Arsene Wenger should be the England manager. I've said it so many times. And I was told you're not a Tottenham fan. You know nothing about football.
There you go. There you go.
Arsene Wenger's one of the greatest managers to ever manage. Like, imagine a manager that's gone an entire league with not losing a game and playing great football and being defensively solid. That's what I want as the England man. And I was told you're not a Tottenham fan because you want someone to be the England manager. It doesn't matter. I know football. I've been watching football since I was a child. I know who is a good manager. I know who's a good footballer. And Thierry Henry is awesome. When in his pomp, he was probably the best footballer in the world.
I agree. Harry didn't get Ballon d'Or, but you know what? That's enough Arsenal talk. Yeah. Let's get like I said, we mainly came onto that because we were talking about the transfer approach, weren't we? He tapped and untapped. He tapped an untapped market. So we've got a guy that knows this market inside out, has good relations in this market inside out. So going down this avenue, I'd be delighted to see. Listen, no one knew who Matoma was. No one, unless you followed the J League or whatever, or you were Japanese. No.
No, Brian. Everyone knew that Sonny was like a superstar in South Korea, but no one knew that he would be the perfect foil to Harry Kane. No one knew that. No one knew that he would come into this team and be an absolute worldie of a striker / a winger.
Yeah,
no one knew that.
You're right.
No one knew about players like Kim.
Ji-Sung Park.
Yeah. Ji-Sung Park Ji-Sung. And you've also got Kim Min-jae. There are loads of quality Japanese and Korean players. I mean, the Korean team and the Japanese teams did really well at the World Cup, playing big teams and beating them because of their hard work, their team ethic, and their quality. They're quality players.
They are. And you look at this approach.
Like from Frankfurt, the defender from, I can never remember his name. Someone in the chat can post this.
Well, yeah, someone comment, because obviously we're not live, Ben, so they can put it in the YouTube comments. But you look at it, even this data, we can see that it works. Don't get us wrong, it's not going to work straight away. It's not going to bear fruit for every single signing we sign straight away.
Yeah.
But we've seen recently, the way we deal with transfers is so scattergun. Yeah. There's no rhyme or reason to the way we're doing things. There's no correlation between what we need and what we get. So there's things we have to look forward to. Most of the cases, whether we are allowed this new approach to transfers, whether we are allowed to bear the fruits from this, whether we stick if we say we're going to go down this method, we need to go down this method for the next 15, 20 years, whatever. You don't just do it with this manager and then go, right, do you know what? We'll try a different method with the next manager. There's got to be some consistency. But you know what? We're going to have to see how it works out. But I'm all for this data change. What about you?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
We do not care about signing superstars. We care about signing players that play well for Tottenham. It doesn't matter whose name is on the back of the shirt. It matters who's in that shirt. That's all that matters. We need quality players that are going to play for the team, and they're going to play for the team with pride, as well as quality. That's what we need. And how you do that is analytics, having people. Brighton, we brought up Brighton. How many great players do they keep on buying? Of course, it's going to take a long time. It's going to take 5, 6, 7 years to get this spot on. But that's the way we're going to have to do it now, because we're not going to sign players like Laporte or even a Nathan Ake or a João Cancelo, like top name players. We're not going to sign a Bastoni. We're not going to sign a Lautaro. We need to be signing gems that haven't been seen yet. And it's one of the reasons why our colleague Stell says bring back Chris Ramsey, because what did he do at QPR? He found Elise and Eze.
Yep.
That's what we need to do.
That's it. That's what we need. We need consistency in everything we do. We're just so slapdash and let's give this a go. No, that didn't work. Let's chuck it out. Let's do that. Oh, no, that didn't work. Let's chuck this out. I'm all for the. It's all well and good saying you're going to change. It's just making sure you stick to your guns. And if it doesn't start off straight away as well as you expect, which this is hard to do, then you have to develop it and develop it and develop it and get it right. And let's just hope with this, Ben, that we do start seeing it. I mean, like we said, going back on what we said, if we get Tatsoba, another defender, and Madders, then that's a huge start. Not saying, oh my God, everything's forgiven. And that's never further from the truth. But it is a start of seeing that, right, we've adapted to what Ange wants. And we're doing it. It's a huge game of wait and see. But this new approach, I think, could bear fruit. What about you, Ben?
It's what's got to happen, Bri. It's what's got to happen. We've got to start acting like a football club. And that's how football clubs act now. Every single club that does well works on analytics. Manchester City's, Brighton's, Liverpool, when they were signing quality players. It's what we've got to act like now. It's no longer... You need to have a scouting network and data behind whether that player fits in your side. So this is what we've got to do now. Exactly.
I think on that note, mate, we'll wrap it up. But first of all, please, guys, we're going to be back regularly. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So like the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, share it about. Ben, quick plug for your coffee channel and your coffee shop, buddy.
Yeah, we're back on Monday at 2 p.m. as usual. For your usual coffee chat, you can find us at the Kauffiee Company. I will put the link in the description when I get the chance, if I'm not so lazy. But yeah, come by. We are very close to 330 subscribers. So get over to the Kauffiee Company and just be nice to each other. It's great. It's a great place to have some coffee.
There you go. So guys, listen, it's been wonderful spending the day with you. It's been wonderful having the review back up and running. We will be back every single day this week. So Ben, thank you for joining. Like I said, everyone, don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment. I do aim to get back to all the comments. And there's only one thing to say at the end, really. They're ready. Let's do our exercise. And as always, Levy out.